So suppose you have an array of people, let's say, and every single element in that array is a person, and that person has a name, an age, and a list of favorite numbers, and that list is simply an array of numbers, right? What we want our program to do is to extract these favorite numbers, but only those that are strictly positive. So no zeros, no not negative 10 or anything like that. We just want numbers that are strictly positive. So how can we do that in a very simple way? Well, it sounds simple, right? We first have to map everything, right? So let's say people dot, let's say map, and then p for a person, and for every single person we want the favorite numbers, but not only just the favorite numbers. We want actually every single favorite number that is higher than 0, right? So just filter this thing and just say, okay, well, for every favorite number, return if fav num is higher than 0. If that's true, then actually add it in our result, right? And I'm gonna keep this inside our result variable here, and just gonna console log it on the screen. So just say res here. Now if I try to run this, let's see, that like it should work, right? What do you think are the problems with this actually before I run this? Take a moment to think about it. It actually makes sense that we're gonna get issues. Why? Because we will end up with arrays of arrays. Why? Simple. Because we have mapped every single person, so every single object here has been mapped to its favorite numbers array, right? So we got an array, even though, well, sure, we have filtered the array, but it's still an array. So we're gonna actually get an array for every single element inside the people array that has the desired favorite numbers. So how can we solve this issue very fast? Well, there's an array method called flat, and what flat does is very simple. It takes in any number of arrays inside arrays and basically gets them at the same level, gets every single element at the same level, right? So if we, for example, do res.flat here, you're going to see that, well, nothing changed. Why? That's because this guy, res.flat, actually returns the new array. So we have to actually overwrite our old array. So I'm going to say res equals res.flat, for example. That's not really the usual way to go about it, but that's fine for our example. So if we try to run this now, you'll notice, well, we got all the numbers that we wanted. Every single number that is higher than 0 is in here, right? We got 5, 700. We didn't get -2, we got 12. We didn't get -10, 100 we got, and 14. So it works perfectly. This is what flat actually does. And another interesting feature is that if you, for example, have, for some reason, multiple nested arrays, so if you have like, let's say this 700 is in another array and our 14 is also in another array, right? It's a bit of a fantasy sort of example. You usually don't get that, but let's say you did. If you try to run this now, you'll notice, well, we still got arrays of arrays. So we got rid of the first level of arrays, but we didn't get rid of the rest. Why? That's because flat, the array method flat, actually takes in a parameter, and that parameter is the depth at which it goes to unnest the arrays. So we can specify here, instead of 1, which is the default, so just one level, we can specify here 2. So just go 2 levels deep. And if you try to run this, you'll notice now our array is nice and flat. We only get one element, or all the elements are just primitives, are just numbers, right? So this is the use case for our flat array method. One more detail before you go is, well, here I have just a simple array of 2 numbers, and I'm just printing it before actually flattening this array and after I'm flattening it. So if I run this, well, I'm just going to get the same array twice. But the key factor is, if you have actual empty items inside the array, for example, by doing this, right, this is just an empty item right here. So we would get actually 3 elements inside here. I can actually print the length as well, just to make sure that's right. And if we try to run this now, you'll notice the flat function actually removing the empty elements. So that's a really small detail that I want you to know about, just in case you actually need to remove empty elements. And that's about it for this video. I hope you understood what the flat function does and where it can be very, very useful. If you have any questions about the flat function or any other array method, really, do leave them down in the comments below or on our Discord server. You have an invitation down in the description. Well, see you next time and take care.